Hello everyone and welcome to another Tarot Chat with Jay. I'm doing a hashtag today. It's a VR to Candy Soul and Soil because she keeps coming up with some winners, huh? This one originally came out in 2020 and it's dating the tarot. But in 2020 it was a pandemic and the thought of dating anything totally skeeved me out. And that's actually when I started my real deep dive tarot journey. So I think it's more relevant for me now. So I'm hashtag dating the tarot 2022. It's 13 questions. They'll be described below as usual. Thank you so much for joining me, friends. Let's get started. Number one, Cheapskate date. Cheap as chips. You bought it because it was really cheap, and what was the outcome? Everyday Tarot. Thank you. I got this one in line at the Barnes and Noble bookstore, my local one, which apparently is a really good metaphysical store, it turns out. So annoying, the information about the author and the illustrator is not on the box. It's actually Bridget Esselmont and Eleanor Grosch. But the outcome was fantastic. Freaking loved it. I love this deck. Very small. What did it teach me? That simple or scaled down is not simplistic. I actually had to change my mind about this deck. For a while, I was calling it a scaled down deck, a monochromatic deck, a simple deck, and none of those things are really true. The gold and variation of colors absolutely shines, and it's the simplicity of detail that lets me see the depth of the card. Here, for example, we're looking at Justice, and we see her crown, her sword, her scales, but because of the coloration, one of the scales is white and one is tipped gold because it's here in the border, and that lets us show there's an impartiality. Things are always in flux. Balance is not still. It brings us back to that Two of Pentacles and Lemniscate energy that we love. So this deck just let me see so many things in such a fantastic new perspective. It was cheap, but oh so worth it. Oh so worth it. What was it, like 12 bucks? 12 bucks? More or less. All right, we go on to number two, Slowburner. Wasn't sure at first, but boy howdy, now it's love. Arthur Rackham, same deal, really surprised me. I thought I was getting, like, once again, a simplistic monochromatic deck, but no, there's so much color in here. We see creams and pinks and peach and blush and grays and greens. This is the Nine of Swords, anxiety. And what else did this deck teach me? Here we see the Magician. And our word is manifest, and it's actually a version of Pandora opening a chest of magic, and what that implies, that it's not someone astute at their table with their tools knowing what they're doing at the end of the journey. It's someone at the beginning of the journey letting loose power and grappling of how to get a hold of that and how to actually manage that. The other thing that this deck definitely helped with was shout out to Sharpies and the Lisa Papa's Tarot with Training Wheel series that helped me journal, understand these words, create a word, and write it on the cards in my own handwriting, in my own manifestation and own understanding of these messages. So, wow, yeah, slow burner, but awesome. Number three, blind date. I rushed in without looking or thinking, and that is actually relevant. I do try to have a curated collection. I really try to, use TarotTube as a tool to look at decks and preview them. But this one I bought sight unseen, at Witches Night Out Market from a lovely duo of females, and they are known as Cadiz. And they mix herbs, they have a site, and they sell very, very few decks, but this is one of them. Also, I got the Herb Crafters Tarot sight unseen from them, and it was phenomenal. So the Field Tarot is Hannah Forfana, and one of the things that was super interesting is it ended up being, there are a lot of pip influence in the minors, and the courts are very, very minimalistic as well. And I wasn't expecting that, but it both influenced my understanding of numerology, pip work, and court work as well. How I can look at 5 and see that as a calliope, something out of sync, something in need, something not quite finished, and how that amplifies my understanding of the 5 of Pentacles as want and need and fear, and some of the more shadowy aspects that we get in some of those cards, and how the straight ahead, gray toned Prince of Discs, reliability, that just weight of color and tonality and neutrality gave me an understanding of those cards and the message that he brings as well. So yeah, I was just so glad to get this home and go by their word, have someone else be, you know what, I found this one, it's a good one, and why don't you buy it? And I'm like, okay, babe, I bought it, I love it, thank you so much. Number 4, we go on to Rebound, the one I dated because I couldn't get the one I want. I talked about this on 7 decks for 7 deadly sins as well. I purchased Oracle of Mystical Moments because I had to wait for Tarot of Mystical Moments, and I'm so glad I did. Not only do I absolutely adore this Oracle deck in and of itself, but it allowed me to prepare for the iconography that I would see in the upcoming tarot. For example, here we have Night Ride, and it's an elephant taking a slow ride with an owl protecting its avian kin, and there are stars in the sky. And this already makes me think now of my understanding of the 7 of Cups, where she's floating in this mystical, lovely, emotional, safe place in the clouds, and just picking out stars, all the possibilities which lay before her, taking her time, taking the slow night ride. So, oh gosh, here we have secrets. We see keys and girls and messages on their journey, and keyholes in the moon and the secrets that that entails. And that brings me to the mystical moments, the moon, and the secrets that are illuminated in the dark in that card too. So yeah, it's a rebound or a foreshadowing, but it worked out really well, and I'm so glad to have both. And I am pleased to say I'm one of those readers who reads those decks together. Next we move on to number 5. Ooh, a surprise love affair. I thought, yeah, okay, whatevs, it's gonna be nice, but I thought it would be okay, but boy howdy, wow, that turned out to really be a kicker. It's Divine Doors, Oracle. I bought this one because I was like, yeah, I like oracles, I like doors, I yell at architecture. Much like Howard Phillips Lovecraft before me, I have stood on Wickenden and Benefit and screamed at architecture going, oh, you're 111 years old and you have pilasters and just triplicate arches, and you have transoms and brick and haunted doorsteps, and I profess my love. Which was very rare for him, wasn't it? So, yeah, I thought this would be cool. You know, it's a cool deck, but it has so much more. Oh, gosh. This is Jump for Joy. It's a woman in an archway, absolutely aloft. And when this pairs with the Eight of Wands, or which is a message of go for it, the time is now, or messages from the Knight of Swords, where they're launched in their horse, saying yes, yes, the message is yes. Also, there are places that I recognized and I didn't expect to. This is the Buddhist Temple of the Sky, which is in the land of Samarkand. This is Machu Picchu, where the stones are placed together so fine you can't fit a knife point in. These are places of power and resonance. I recognize these liminal spaces. I mean, my goodness, Frida Kahlo's Blue Doorway is in this. Let's see if I can pull it for you. This is Chantra and the doorway of saints, and their message from the 12th century is relevant. Blue doorway. You think I could find it because it was blue. Yeah, but I was astounded when I found that as well. Here we are. It's phrased Blue Doorway. So, or Angkor Wat. It was astounding and a surprise love affair I wasn't expecting. We move on to number 6. I might have to block your number. It just did not work out. I've been working. I ended up, maybe I'll keep the majors because it's nice to have a major on the deck, and that's what seduced me in the first place. Bart, Angelica Stelli, no. It looks all like flowers and beautiful, twiny, William Morris, repetition and curve and supportive message, but it's not. It's misogynistic, it's mean, it's secondary symbolism. I even tried to put like butterflies over it to fix it, and I just couldn't, so I'm giving up. I tried the flower oracles, and I yell at flower beds as well. Can you imagine? Pollen on my nose all summer. These backs are gorgeous. They're absolutely, absolutely beautiful. I want to love them. I do. They're so pretty. The book, I want to love it, but I can read 3 pages of it. It's irrelevant to me. I understand that. Here's oak. I love oaks. I hate this depiction. It means nothing to me. What is this? Clematis? I can't pronounce it. What is this? Mimulus. Mimulus. We don't have this. It's not relevant to me. Away with you. I'm done. Done. I might keep these ones for a hot minute. So, anyway, we're moving on to number 7, which is a Stormy on off again, but passionate and wonderful and kind of fantastic, and amplifies that energy, and it's Serpent Fire. And in fact, this actually has so much flash and flare and color and movement and storm in it. It has extreme elements. It has Stevie Nicks. Okay. It has Frida Kahlo in this one too. Actually, this is the desert, and the, gateway to Lower Egypt, and heat and flare and pyramids and planets and cobras. It's wild. I absolutely hated these borders, and now I love them, and then I hate them, and now I love them, but I would never take them off. It's Ursula Andress naked. It's there's just fire and flame, and we're back to the desert. So there we are. We move on to number 8, Double Date, a magical pairing. Now, actually, most of these that I've shown, I really, really like for pairing. There are some oracles that I'd like to discuss that I think pair with all of my collection. Laura Tempest, Liminal Spirits. These are just so strong and so colorway and so gorgeous that I can pick them up and pair with anything. The blue here with the Field Tarot, the gray colors that we see, the way the green goes against the gold and helps me when I talk about finding color and seeing synchronicity. Sometimes it's the color that draws me to the image that helps resonate some color. At times it's the vibration of the color alone. Here the green helps me calm down and look to the purple mountains in the distance. We have the 6 of Cups, maybe that brings me back to that sense of magic, that sense of place. The greens and blues of the peacocks say it's safe to use your voice. It's okay to talk about your childhood. It's okay to maintain that joie de vivre, that innocence, that clarity, that uncertainty, that it's okay to be wrong. So that's the conversation that something like Laura Tempest will let me have with a combination of cards. So that was Laura Tempest with the Field Tarot, just as an example. Woo! I'd like to move on to number 9, which is Friend with Benefits. Call them anytime. It's like no time has passed. They're there for you all the time, every time. I don't need the guidebook. It's my everyday witch. I don't need the guidebook. I don't need the bigger deck. I don't need to replace it. I can just, I'm sitting in the supermarket and I can just go, let's pull a card. Who is it? It's King of Wands. I don't even have to take him out of the little box. He can just like pop up, go, psst, here's a little message. Here's a little something. Here's a little, you remember me. You remember me, friend. You remember my message, and you can gloss it. So sometimes it's straight to source. Great to go straight to source. Now, as I take a moment and clear a little bit of the clutter, I would like to say that question number 10 is the Menage a Trois, a beautiful trio. And I'm actually not quite ready to discuss that part of my practice, my theory on camera. So it's a little much for me right now. I'm going to gloss that question and go on to number 11, which is the best hugger, who has hugs best and longest and warmest and when most needed. And somewhat strangely, it's this might hurt, because someone who hugs me is there when it hurts, when it's, they hug me in joy, in sorrow, in sadness. And here we have the 2 of Cups. And here we have that depiction right here. This could be joy, this could be sorrow, this could be support, this could be love, this could be anything I'm going through. Me and all of my phases, all of my facets, all of my everything. This card sees me, this card accepts me, this deck sees me, accepts me. Whatever version I am of myself, whatever changes I'm moving through, in all my power, here as the High Priestess, in all of my weakness, here as the Page of Swords. in all of my questing. Page of Pentacles. And the depth of night. Queen of Cups. Heart of my soul. We move on, friends, to Forever Love, the real thing, and it's Rider-Waite. It's the Alpha Omega. It's how I started tarot. It what ties me to my quest for knowledge, my quest for study. It's what started me on this path, and it's why I'm talking to you here today. When things get weird, when things get stormy, I can always go back to Pixie